Man, what up? What up, my man? What's up? Hey, I'm gonna give you a little something right here. Give you a little something right here. My men, for the opposite sex, for the ladies, I'm gonna tell you something. Now, you've got to be disciplined. Got to be disciplined. And it's gonna be one of the hardest things that you could try to do. But I'm gonna tell you something if you haven't heard this before. The one thing, in order to shake up women, in order to shake them up a little bit, if you're in the same space as them, and say it's a young lady that you're interested in, nice looking young lady, walking around, you know, she's definitely fitting all of the criteria, what you like. The discipline is that you don't stare. You don't stare. You don't do all of the fiending eyes. You don't do all of the lustful stuff. Tongue hanging out your mouth and all that. Nah, you don't do that. You observe the young lady, you see her, and then you continue to do what you're doing, whatever it is. You continue to do what you're doing. Now, this is where the discipline comes in at. You may not see this young lady ever again. Now, I don't know where you may so happily come across this young lady, but it could be maybe the young lady is visiting. Maybe she just so happens to be on that side of town. Maybe you've got a big city that you're in. You may not see this young lady again. But I implore you to take the stance of you give a glance, you see the young lady, what she looks like, and you just continue to keep it moving. The reason why I tell you that is because what a lot of women are looking for is they're looking for that type of look of you fiending, you lusting after them, tongue hanging all out. They're used to that because there's other men who do that. You're not the only one who's going to sit up there and do all that stuff. There's a whole ton of men that do that. So they know they just put you in the same category as every other man. Like, okay, here's this cat. This cat is one of these cats who, are going to be annoying. They're going to be one of these guys that are going to come up to me and say, hey, can I get your number? Give me your Instagram, like stuff like that. The stuff that they show on the social medias. They're going to expect that. So they automatically, I'm not going to say all of them, but some of them automatically going to write you off. Like, you know what? I already got that person. Because it's a captured type of thing. It's like, boom, they come in or wherever it is and they capture your eye. Boom, they know they got you. Now it's just a matter of whether or not you look like you're somebody that they could possibly be interested in, or are you one of these people that maybe look like you could be annoying to them. But they'll kind of play these little games where they're, trying to maybe not look your way or whatever. But that's why your approach is you give them that glance, and then whatever it is, say you're shopping, you give them that glance and you walk and just go finish up your shopping and do whatever you're doing. The reason why I'm saying that you do this stuff is because what it does for young women, or women in general, what it does is it perplexes them when you just give them a glance and that's it. Like, okay, is there something wrong with my face? Do I have some stains on my clothes? Is my hair messed up or something like that? It gets them to question, like, how come he's not doing the same thing that all these other guys normally do? And that is setting your position of being that independent, being that not interested, even though you are interested, but it gives that nonchalant approach, which a lot of times, believe it or not, it intrigues the woman to be like, wow, like I'm used to folks following me around and all this other stuff and wanting to come up to me and stuff like that, but this guy didn't do that. Nah, he just glanced at me, walked right away, and that was that. See, they're looking for you to give them that attention. But you change it up and you shift it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm not that person's type, or let me try to figure out what the deal is. Now, something like this happened to me just recently in the grocery store. I'm in the grocery store, I walk in the grocery store, nice looking young lady comes in. I took my glance, I looked at her, I'm like, okay, she's cool. Boom. I keep on walking. All of a sudden, every aisle I go to, this young lady's coming around in the same aisle. Every aisle, I kid you not. I'm walking, and I'm purposely trying to avoid not looking like I'm some kind of stalker. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want her to think that, hey, I'm some cat that's just a real weirdo who's really pressed to, be following her. So I'm making sure, okay, you know what? I see her there. Let me go to the next aisle. I go to the next aisle. All of a sudden, this young lady's coming around there. I go out to the payout aisle. All of a sudden, this lady's coming across me in the payout aisle. I'm like, what the freak? Now, I didn't talk to her because, yeah, she was a nice looking young lady. But, I looked at it as, I don't know whether or not she's going outside to, her mate. You know what I mean? And you don't want to draw any type of issues like that. And then, like I said, I was really giving a glance, and like I said, it's not like she was somebody that I was like, man, this is somebody I have to actually talk to. No, she was a nice looking young lady, but it just was the simple fact that I wanted to just let it be known, okay, I see that you're nice looking, but I'm not going to sit up here and stare at you. I'm not going to give you that time of day to think that, hey, that you all world and that everybody just drops to their knees when they see you. I'm not going to do that. That's maybe more the confidence in myself as far as who I am. I'm not going to do that. Now, I'm not going to tell you that there's not some young ladies that, I may see and may stare a little bit harder. Yeah, there's some young ladies that I may come across that I may stare a little bit harder. But again, there's a certain type of confidence that you have in yourself that doesn't make it where the young lady can overtake what it is that you're able to do. That's what I'm saying at. Videos ago, I tell y'all about confidence. And when you get a certain type of level of confidence, then really no young lady is unapproachable. No young lady is unapproachable. You just have to be able to pick out the signs. You got to assess the situation, figure out whether or not, is this the right time to sit up here and, introduce yourself, and then not be afraid of rejection. You know what I mean? Told y'all that before in some other videos. So here, like I said, just a little tip there. You see a young lady, and this works for if you see a young lady that maybe you go to the gym all the time. Don't do all of the gawking and the eyes and the big eyes and all the stuff. Looking at her with her nice looking gear on, the spandex and all. Man, that's the young ladies know that men are doing that all day long. You're not separating yourself from no other man in there. But if you're a man who just walks by and she thinks that you're going to sit up here and look at her or go talk to her, and then she gets a face crack like, oh, snap, this cat just walked past me like, oh, like, okay, I ain't even see you. Gives intrigue. It builds up intrigue. And then you may see, once in a while, you may see the young lady looking over in your direction. And then maybe you start understanding that maybe she's throwing out a little bit of interest signs. You know what I'm saying? It's like the cat and mouse kind of game. Fortunately, sometimes that's what's being played out here, but it's like the cat and mouse type of thing. Never be disrespectful. Like I always tell y'all before, Never be disrespectful to a young lady, to any woman. Never. They reject you. It is what it is. There's billions of women on this planet. But just take that and approach from a man, man to a man, man to a young man. Even for the young boys, same exact thing. Don't do all the gawking stuff, because the women, they know. The young little girls, they know. They like, they're taking all the Instagram shots and stuff like that because they know how many views people are looking at them that way. They know that they're seeing them in that kind of capacity. So you walk past, be like, all right, whatever. Not no big thing. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. Anyway, I am going back to the park like I always do. So I'm going to catch you on the next note. Peace out.